Diamondbacks, though, not just looking at pitching. Again, we talk about starting pitching, relief pitching. We don't know exactly what they're going to target as a priority, but we also have another guy, Valley native from here in Arizona, who the Diamondbacks might
heard of him?
Take a look at. I've heard of him. You heard of him?
I've heard of him.
Little belly action, a little Cody Bellinger.
Cody Bellinger.
For, as you said, the Chicago Cubs that have been playing very good baseball, and a lot of that is due to Bellinger and his play.
If we look at Cody Bellinger's stats, I mean, he's sort of been the real deal for the Cubs this year. 314 average entering today, 363 on base, 540 slugging percentage, 14 homers, 45 RBI, 2.7 WAR. That's in 69 games this year. So
nice.
He has missed a few games this year. So I mean, that's in less than half a season he's put up those numbers. So he is having sort of like the typical Cody Bellinger year from, I guess, his first 3 seasons in the majors. He's sort of reverted back to that guy. I do think there are some warning signs. Like I don't really view this as being entirely sustainable. He has a 333 BABIP, which is significantly higher than his career average of 283. His WOBA is 379 compared to an expected WOBA of 325, which is an enormous gap. So I don't think, at least I would hope, that the Cubs have some awareness here and aren't trading Cody Bellinger with the intentions of like teams viewing him in light of his actual current stats, because I don't really think there's a lot of evidence that they're sustainable. But if you're looking for, the JD Martinez-esque jolt for the D-backs lineup, Cody Bellinger is probably your best bet. And he is left-handed, which is maybe not ideal, but his splits this year are such that you could maybe get by that. If we look at the pros and cons for bringing Cody Bellinger to the Diamondbacks, he's arguably the best available hitter. I guess Shohei Ohtani would be that guy, but who really knows if Shohei Ohtani is actually available? I mentioned the platoon splits. Although he is a left-handed hitter, he's actually hit lefties better this season, so maybe you wouldn't be so concerned about that side of things. He is an Arizona native, which is a fun thing. On the con side, there is some financial cost here. He is due to make $17.5 million this season. So it'd be around $6 million or so for the rest of the year. Not too outrageous. He has a mutual option for next year, which probably will not be upheld. He's probably going to opt out and try to get a bigger deal. He also, as some people might remember from his days with the Dodgers, like Cody Bellinger has not been great in the playoffs in his career. Don't have those numbers in front of me, but I think it was like a 600 OPS, something like that. And then finally, he is a rental. So on the con side, if you do trade Cody Bellinger, you're probably going to have to give up some relatively big time assets, and you're only getting him for the rest of the year.
Yep. And I don't know if the Diamondbacks necessarily need to do that. I think most people that have been watching this team over the last few weeks, their offense can be stagnant at times, but like we saw today, they were still able to put up 7 runs in a game that looked like an absolute blowout at one point, and still felt that way. But I don't feel like the Diamondbacks have as much positional need or are in as much of a need for positional players as they are in pitching. Pitching wins you championships, and they have far too many needs at pitching right now for that to not be their primary focus. But like you said, Bellinger would be a fun.
You want to package him with Stroman, like Jacob's saying.
There you go.
Bellinger and Stroman.
Yeah, why
there
not?
You go.
Why not?
For Carson Kelly,
yes,
and for Pavin Smith.
That's it.
And Jose Ruiz. Nope, we DFA'd him, so never mind. We'll have to figure out somebody else to throw in that trade. No, we have a real trade package here for you, and of course, I don't know why we keep throwing Ivan Melendez in these, because it infuriates me every time. But
it infuriates the chat too.
When you have a guy that's hitting the ball, smashing the ball, and
he strikes out at 40% rate.
Yeah, it strikes out at like
is it like 34, 35?
Yeah.
It's not quite 40. It is.
Yeah.
It is a little high. But I asked around a little bit, and I was told that if the Cubs were to trade a Cody Bellinger or anyone, they'd maybe be looking for a corner infield. They don't really have any clear options for the future at first base or third base. So hence Ivan Melendez. Slade Ciccone we also have in here, as well as Dominic Fletcher. I'm not sure how much Fletcher necessarily fits the Cubs' needs. Maybe they would rather another arm instead of him at the end of the day.
Jesse,
but
his name's Dominic Fletcher. People in Chicago would love him. Are you kidding me? They would love him. just based on the name alone. He's also the greatest Italian baseball player to ever play the game. I don't know why people forgot about that. And so any team that receives him should it should just be a 1-for-1 trade. It should just be Cody Bellinger for Dominic Fletcher straight across. But I understand throwing these other names in there for sure.
I mean, maybe if you took Fletcher out of it, like Melendez and Ciccone, I mean, maybe it kind of depends on how the Cubs feel about Melendez. I guess he would kind of be the big get there. It's only half a season of Cody Bellinger, though. Like, theoretically, it shouldn't cost that much. But if this is something along the lines of what it actually took, that wouldn't shock me.
And now, since they're only 4.5 games out of the wild card, who the hell knows if the Cubs will even be sellers at the trade deadline? Because they do have two of the best pitchers in the National League as part of their starting rotation. And again, Belly's been good for them this year. But